Hey guys, it's Coco here again and welcome back to my channel, Data Delight with Coco. In today's episode, we're going to be working on a dirty data set. So you can see the dirty data set on the left hand side while you can see the clean data set on the right hand side. So I got this data from Foresight BI. And in the data set, we have three columns. We have the order ID, the category column, and then the amount column. So as you can see, the dirty data cannot be visualized because it needs to be cleaned. All right, so it needs to be cleaned and transformed. So we have what we have here on the clean data. So, and I'm going to be using Power BI for this tutorial. So I'm going to head over to my Power Query in the Power BI. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to unpivot the category column and the amount column. So to do that, I'm first going to click on the order ID and then go to the transform tab. All right. And then I can see Unpivot column. So I'm just going to click on the drop down and click on Pivot order column. So it's going to unpivot the order columns apart from the order ID column. Yeah, so I'm just going to click on this. All right, so we have this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this value column. All right, I'm going to split this value column so that it separates the categories from each other. It separates the amounts. All right, so I'm just going to right click on the value column and go down to split column. So I'm going to select by delimiter. Okay, so what delimiter is a straight slash. I don't know if that's what it's called. All right, so this is delimiter. So a delimiter is a symbol or a word or text that separates two words or two items or multiple items. Okay, and the delimiter here is this straight slash here. I don't know if that is what it is called. Okay, so I'm just going to click on OK. All right, so now we have each word and each amount in separate cells, but this time in different columns. Okay, so how do we have them, or how do we bring the categories in one column and then the amount in one column? Okay, so to do that, I am going to also unpivot these columns that have the categories and the amounts. So I'm going to select the order ID column and this attribute column here, and I'll go back to the unpivot columns and unpivot order columns. So this is going to unpivot the other columns that have the different categories and different amounts apart from the order ID and the attribute column. So now we have this, all right, but we are not done yet. Okay, we still need to bring the categories, all the categories, because now what you can see here is that all the categories are now in a single column but together with the amounts. So how then can we separate the categories from the amount? So I'm going to come back here to the attribute column and I'm going to pivot this column so that we have inside this attribute column we have the amount and the category columns. Yeah, let me put it that way. So we have the amount and the category. So I'm going to so I'm going to pivot this column. Okay, so still under the transform tab, I'm going to go over to pivot column and click on it. Okay, so what value column or what columns do you want this pivot column to affect? I want it to affect the value column. So the value column has the categories and the amount. So I'm going to select value. So we're not done yet. I'm also going to click on the advanced options. So you can see that under the advanced functions, the aggregate value function here is count all, which we don't want. So we do not want any aggregation. We just want it to return the categories and the amounts in the separate columns. So I'm going to click on don't aggregate and click on OK. So now we have this. Now this is, looking like what you can see here, the order ID, category, and amount. All right. So each order ID has its category and then their respective amount. But in the dirty data set, it wasn't like that. And if you were to visualize this dirty data set, you wouldn't be able to get any insights from it. So that is the reason why we are performing this cleaning. Okay, so I'm going to just delete this column, this attribute column. It's not needed. So I right click on the column header and click on remove. So it removes the column. All right, so I think we are looking good. There's still one last thing. Let me check. Okay, so I can see something. So I can see that in this category column, there are extra spacing. Okay, so the extra spacing, you can see that the words are not starting from the beginning. They are extra spacing. So I'm going to right click on this column and go to transform. Under transform, I'm going to click on trim. So trim is going to trim away or take away any extra spacing that you have in that cell or in the cells. Okay, so I think we are good. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the data type of this amount column so it's a decimal and not, so right now it's saved as a text data type, whereas we have figures. Okay, so I'm going to click on this data type ABC and change it to decimal number. Okay, so I think we are good to go. Yeah, we are good to go actually. And with this, you will be able to visualize the categories by amount. So you know which category has the highest amount, which category has the lowest amount. Okay, so that is it for this tutorial. See you next time, and yeah, bye.